Okay, so this video, I've been trying to get Kimmy's memory to be like consistent, right? Like, Jarvis-like, because whenever it would do like memory compaction, whenever I would continue the conversation, she'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Or "Is this what you mean?" Some weird stuff. So I got to thinking, and I wanted to do this like before there was OpenClaw. I tried to build this in N8N, right? I mean, I got it kind of working, but with OpenClaw, there's a lot more things that I don't have to do that are like handled. So, so I basically added a Redis database and Qdrant database so that so I have Qdrant and Redis, and so so I'm going to say Kimmy. I know it's not a her, it's an it, and I feel obligated to say that every time because I'm going to call it her for probably this entire video. Anyways, so Redis is in-memory database, and it's just like a typical database. And then Qdrant is the vector database, that works really well with LLMs because it can tie things together that are related with a percentage, right? Like the vector ties and stuff like that. So what I did was, well, really what Kimmy did was I told her, I said, okay, with Redis, I first was like probing about, okay, what happens to your memory? What happens when it's compacted? What happens this? How do you get your memories? How do and basically what I understood was, and again, I do feel like I should say, okay, this is what I did to get this working. It might not be the best way. It might not be, it's very surely not the only way, but, it actually is working really nice. Okay. And I'll explain a little more detail as we go. And then really at the end, I have some other things that I'm working on that are just, they're really freaking awesome, or at least they are to me. So anyways, so Redis is real fast, like memory style database. So it stores things, but if you turn the power off, you lose it. So whenever I built these two things, Redis is like short-term memory and Qdrant is like long-term memory. So Qdrant just continues to get all the conversations, but I'm getting out of order. Okay, so first I'm gonna describe Redis. Okay, so with Kimmy, you have the heartbeat, right? So the heartbeat is it's every 30 minutes. I had her change hers to like every hour. So Kimmy's heartbeat does two things, right? So it one thing it does is it takes every heartbeat, it takes the entire context, like every word, and puts it into Redis. Okay, so every time the heartbeat goes is once an hour. It grabs every single word of our conversations and puts it into Redis. So if there's a memory compaction, well, there is a one area that it could miss, but I'm going to kind of cover that in a second. But so every word from our conversation goes into Redis, every heartbeat. Okay. And so that's short-term memory. So if I need her to recall something, she can go and get it from like our conversation. Okay. Like our full conversation, not the compaction. When it happens, it's meant to clear context for the LLM so that it doesn't like get too full and it starts hallucinating and getting all jacked up. It's kind of like a recover memory. But what it does is it builds a summary of your past conversations. So depending on how well the summary is done, you lose a lot of context. And one of the things I was thinking is long-term memory. I don't want a summary in long-term memory. I want AI dictated facts and details, right? Like in the long-term memory. So every heartbeat, the entire conversation, and it also checks for duplicates, so it won't like duplicate. Well, I'm sorry, it checks for duplicates when it puts it into Qdrant, but it takes the entire conversation and puts it in Redis every heartbeat. So at 3:30 a.m. or 3 a.m., the cron job runs and takes everything in Redis and puts it into Qdrant smartly, right? I don't know if that's a word, but in a smart way, it builds the Qdrant database. So it basically, in the way I'm thinking of it, is it converts short-term memory to long-term memory, right? So then once that's successful, it erases Redis. And so our next conversations will start storing in Redis again. This goes in parallel with the standard OpenClaw filing or memory system, right? So all the MD files, all that stuff, that all is just, I didn't want to interrupt that process. I wanted to improve upon it, but still keep that core functionality, right? So that's how it works, right? And so, so I got Kimmy to like add to the website, right? So this is what's really cool, right? So I had her go to the website and add these different things. So basically, if you go down to tutorials, she created these 3 different things, or tutorials. So she created, okay, this is the video, Jarvis-like memory for Kimmy. And it has like a tutorial, but it's not the actual tutorial. She also created memory architecture, and then a memory comparison, like a side-by-side. Now, I did ask for these specifically, but one thing that I asked for also was, I said, okay, if someone wants to recreate what we did, okay, so I've got this working pretty well, and it's very nice, okay? It's like, it really is like freaking Jarvis. But I was like, if someone wants to do it, how can I give them something? So in downloads, she put together this memory blueprint. So this not only has the way that it's designed, but also she created all the Python scripts to do all the different functions, right? To work with Qdrant, to work with Redis, things that the heartbeat does. Like, I mean, I think that your AI could probably do them, but this is actually a download of all the different Python scripts, 30 plus. I don't know why she didn't just put an exact number. Seems kind of odd, but all the freaking Python scripts that she uses to manage and to have this memory function properly. But, and here's something cool too, right? So, so where was it? So in tutorials, okay, so you can come look at, we'll just look at each one. So here's the tutorial, the Jarvis-like memory, what you will build, Redis buffer, Markdown logs, Qdrant vector. Oh, also it has a backup, right? So at 3 o'clock, it converts everything from Redis into Qdrant vector database, okay? And then at 3:30, it goes through her built-in logs and puts that into Qdrant. So basically, if Redis missed something for whatever reason, let's say I rebooted or it rebooted for some reason, there's still the actual MD files, Markdown files that are still there because it's still functioning as it was designed. So at 3:30, there's a cron job to put it in Qdrant, because think of Qdrant like the actual brain. It's like the long-term memory. And so all these different things that I do, they get stored in Qdrant, and I just say, hey, do you remember this? And she's like, yeah. So it's going to get better. So just bear with me. Okay. So here's like the step-by-step instructions, right? I mean, if you have OpenClaw, you could probably just say, here's what I want you to do, and copy and paste that in there or whatever. So that was the, that, and then here's the memory architecture, right? So, I'm not sure how accurate this is. It seemed pretty good. One thing to note in Qdrant, it's under my ID. So my name is the ID. That way, all the memories that are related to me are under my ID. The first time I was trying it before in one of the other videos in a similar way, it was stored wrong. Okay. So this way is the right way. So here's, this is stuff she put together. Your chat message saved to Redis, today's MD file and today's MD file, heartbeat every 30 to 60 minutes, new turns. And it's new turns is something that she's been saying, but I guess it's like the files being done. Like, that's just what she's been calling it, and I didn't change it. So then you ask, remember X, and searches Qdrant, returns relevant past conversations. So it's like, it's less context, right? Whenever it pulls the stuff from Qdrant, because it's, it pulls like the highest related things. Now, this is the best thing, right? Now, this is freaking awesome. So memory comparison systems. So so she made a comparison. I asked her to do a side by side. So here's OpenClaw default, and here's like the MD files. Anyways, it saves it like that. And I don't think this is actually like the full detail. I think it could be improved. But then here's the session live, Redis buffer, daily files MD. So this is the built-in. And then both of these get, this one happens at 3, this goes to Qdrant. And then at 3:30, her files that were logged go to Qdrant. So Qdrant, and it doesn't allow duplicates on a hash. So it keeps like duplicate values out, so that you don't have a mess. User sends a message. Now this is the part that's freaking awesome. Okay. Quick comparison, blah, 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 checks. And you can go to my website and check this out. Okay. So this is some, she suggested, like I said, I wanted to do some examples. She said, do you think we could use like real examples of our conversations together? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. So here's like, this is me. Actually, I said this and this is what she said, but this is how she retrieved it. This wasn't known to me at the time. It just happened like in the back seamlessly. Right. So she said, and I'm not going to go through every one, but Deb2 that's the SSH Debian machine that she has access to, where she built my website and everything. So you can come and look at all these examples. It's freaking crazy. Okay. Like, so then there's examples, and then here's Kimmy's thoughts, right? So basically she wrote like what she thought about it and how it was similar to like human thought with short-term and long-term memory. And I'm not going to sit here and read through this whole thing, but this is freaking awesome. Okay. Like it's just, it's freaking awesome. Cause now when I chat with her, she actually remembers stuff. Cause I was fighting with, working with her and having, things out of context. And I'm like, can you send like even email thing? Oh, so one thing I did too was I had an additional email account, right? And so I did connect another email account. This one that I used, I set it up for some AI cameras back in the day when they didn't have like their own email client. You had to add it to an email client. So I added another Gmail account, and I basically gave her full rights to that account. So I told her, only respond if it's me or my wife that send you a message. And it's really cool because I told it, I said, also, if it's my wife, be extra funny and nice, because I want her that way that she'll like you. So she actually logged that if my wife sends her an email to ask her a question, to be extra nice and, funny. So, this crap is so crazy, right? So, anyways, that's, and this is tonight's accomplishment. So this is what we just did, right? We made all the documents and everything and updated a website. And there is one thing that I did want to mention. So if you made it this far in the video, this is something that I've been doing that when I didn't have all the memory stuff working, because I had a lot of back and forth getting this like memory layout working. One thing that I've been doing and I continue to do is, okay, on my website, right? So sorry, it's right here, Deb2, right? So in here, there's actually, well, I'll just go there real quick. So, so in here, there is a site log MD. Okay. So I sometimes call it a README. So when I'm doing a project and Kimmy or the AI or whatever is doing something, I update this site log or the README in the folder that she's working in, right? Because if she messes up or something, if something happens, and then I don't want to have to go through the whole thing. So every time I update the website, I also have her come in here and update this site log, right? So that way there's like a, well, actually I'll just open it, right? So okay, so actually, now that I think about it, there might be some stuff in here that is private, so maybe I shouldn't open it. But anyways, yeah, so it's basically, a log. And so if I'm working like with code or having her do something else, like periodically I have her, build an MD file in the directory And I also like, so I set up some like audit stuff. And so I basically had her build an audit like checklist. And I said, and so anytime I want to do the audit, like, you know, could something be better? Is something working properly? I could say, hey, do the audit checklist in your direct, like if it's in the root directory, her her working directory, whatever it's called, then she'll just know where it is. Or now she just knows anyways because of her brain. But I just say, hey, follow the audit instructions and do all that. That way, if something happens in between, she gets all the audit done. But I guess the last thing is, I had her, and this is pretty cool, right? So I had her build some Python code to have voice chat in and out. So I ordered a speakerphone from Amazon for $70 that I just plug in USB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pass through to the USB, and the code is already set up to where I just need to pass through the USB and plug it in. And it's a package from Python that I wasn't familiar with, but it's created for voice back and forth, and it actually has a wake word, Alexa, and you can't change it. Now there's another one she was telling me about, but what's going to be freaking awesome is that all I got to do is plug in this USB, and the Python code is already set up. So when I'm sitting at my computer, I could just say Alexa, and Kimmy will answer, right? So, I mean, I already have the voice back and forth in Telegram, and it's pretty cool, but I think I rambled enough so far. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you're probably like one of like 5 people. So I appreciate that. Take care.